representing number 35, Corey Fieldhouse. Okay guys, in the year of this Corey and Fieldhouse.
Welcome to episode 9 of the Fitness Network podcast. We are joined today by Corey Fieldhouse. So, Corey, give us a little intro on yourself.
Bonjour, good afternoon. My name's Corey Fieldhouse, as Rosy's just stated. I am a very, very enthusiastic bodybuilder. I met Rosy last week at a seminar. We were talking about, well, I mean, everyone there had exactly the same sort of interests as we did, but we ended up having a conversation. I was very interested in the podcast side of this sort of network, I suppose, and what she was talking about. And luckily, I've been gifted the opportunity to come and talk bollocks this afternoon. Am I allowed to swear? I won't.
No.
Give my opinion on the sport and sort of tell you all about myself. So I've been competing since 2016, so for 4 years. Started in quite a fitness sort of glitz and glam side of competing. So I did Miami Pro, Pure Elite, WBFF. I like to think of myself as quite a raw bodybuilder, if that makes sense, although I like to do my eyebrows and wear fake tan. So I sort of moved myself back into that bodybuilding environment, and now I was junior bodybuilder last year. Now I'm open class, looking to take the world by storm, one rep at a time.
Yeah, love it. Amazing. So what actually made you get into bodybuilding in the first place?
So it was my brother. So do you remember them? Well, I suppose you will know, because we've all been put in a position where we have to buy them again. Remember the York gym sets you can buy from Argos?
Yeah.
Plastic weights. We all own them now. So, but back sort of 8 years ago, I think. Jesus Christ. Sorry about that. I've got a ghost in my paranormal activity. This could be going a different way. So my older brother, who's 5 years above me, 5 years older than me, he bought a gym set. He bought an incline or a sit-up bench, you know, the ones that are on incline. Didn't even buy a proper flat bench plane. So we ended up having to use a wooden stool to make it a flat bench. But yeah, that's how it all started, really. He would make me spot him, because he's obviously the older brother and I'm not cool enough to train with him. And then when he was finished training in my mum and dad's garage, I just started throwing the weights around myself and just couldn't put them down.
Love it.
Yeah, mad. Nostalgia.
But and is he still lifting, and like, did he ever compete?
No, never. I mean, do you know what? I actually took him to the gym today for the first time in, I think, probably a year. Took him down to Ashford at LRF.
Yeah.
And he was sat in the car on the way back. He didn't say a single word. He was abused, which is funny, because he was the one that originally introduced it to me. And then, no, I think to do anything in this sport for a long term, it's got to really be a passion.
Yeah.
To throw yourself in the gym and throw weights around for years and years and years and be consistently achy, hungry, you've got to really love it. And he does train, but not to the extent that I do.
Yeah.
I'm now the small big brother. I think.
So, Corey, so when you first competed, did you have a coach, or did you prep yourself?
Yeah, so I trained at a gym called Gym Box in Stratford, and at the time, you may have heard of him, Adam Hogg, John Swift. They're two guys that really were sort of keen competitors. They were in and out of Miami Pro sort of circuit for a couple of years, and Adam Hogg was very, very good. He said to me, he said, "Oh, there's a Miami Pro show coming up. Why don't you do it?" I said, "When is it?" And he said, "In 3 weeks." And I was like, "Nah, mate." And don't get me wrong, I was actually, back then when I wasn't even thinking about competing, I was always in better shape, I think, because it was just more of a maintenance thing. I'd grow as I grow slow, and that was pretty much it. And I said, "Right, what do I have to do to compete? Like, to be ready?" And he was like, "Start doing cardio." So I did. So the next stage, that was pretty much it. He said, "Well, get your top off." And I was just like, "Yeah, this is me." And he said, "Start doing cardio." I said, "What, so you want me to do cardio for 3 weeks? How do I do it?" He said, "Just do an hour a day, as hard as you can, on cross trainer, anything, just go for it, see what happens. Like, no strings attached kind of thing, just enjoy it."
Yeah.
So I did. Friday came before the show. I messaged Angie Weston and said, "How do I register?" And she went, "Oh, registrations are closed." So I said, "All right, well, if I send you the money, can you just put my name down?" And she said, "Yes." And then I went and bought myself some Speedos from TK Maxx. And on Sunday, I was still on stage. Madness.
Oh, I love it. Brilliant. How did you do in that show?
I actually won the bodybuilding class and the muscle.
Yes.
So, yeah, result. I might actually take that approach on my next show, see what happens.
I was just going to say, if every prep was like that.
Yeah, I know. It set me up for a fall massively, because I didn't have a clue what bodybuilding was like until I actually had to start prepping properly.
Yeah.
And ticking the boxes, and then it was hell from there on in.
Yeah, I mean, I do remember that show, and I remember you must have been pretty young when you did that.
I think I was 20, 19, 20.
Yeah, but you were easily the biggest guy, or one of the biggest guys on stage, definitely. I remember that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I upset quite a few people, I'm not going to lie. I mean, there was a guy there, I won't name names, his name was Carl. He actually said to me after, he said, "I don't have a clue how you won that." I was just like, "What?" And like, I know I'm quite easy, like, I live and let live, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm nice to everybody. I don't like negativity. And I was just like, "What?" And he was just like, "Mate, I'm way better than you." And I said, "Well, if you're way better than me, then you'd be carrying this trophy, wouldn't you?" And he literally just turned around and walked off. I've never seen him since, funny enough. But yeah.
Just don't tell him you only prepped for 3 weeks. That would.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say that would really rub it in. Yeah. You see him behind a pole in Silk's nightclub now, probably. Bless him.
I love it.
But, yeah. So what's your competitive background, both of you? Because I know, Matt, you've done Pure Elite.
My very first show was Miami Pro.
Yeah.
It was the European Championships in 2012. This was in our podcast, I think episode 3, I think it is, Rose. And I was saying, Rosie, it was the I forgot where it was, the London, the XL. It was the London XL, and it was in a mixed martial arts expo, and it was a little stage in the corner, and it was probably the worst experience I've ever had. I never went back to Miami Pro after that.
No.
Now, then I went on to natural bodybuilding for a couple of years. Then I did a photo shoot with Matt Marsh, and he said, "This new federation's coming up, Pure Elite. I want to try that." Because I was 36, 35 at the time when I started doing that. So I did that, did a few shows, and just progressed through there. And I packed it in there. Last year was it. I'm done, retired.
Hung the thong up, have you?
Hung the thong up now. I won
on all the trophies, just hangs up the trophies.
On all the trophies.
I won 3 world titles with Pure Elite, so I thought time to hang up. Now.
Hand it to the was it changing of the guards, I think they call it. I had a stalk on your Instagram earlier on, but I've got to say, looking at Rosy's after I met it, I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about make you feel like less of a man. Jesus Christ.
It's really funny when I'm showing that to people. They're like, because obviously you don't look anything like you do on show day, and I am like, I am 6 shades darker on show day than I am right now. And so they're like, no, this isn't you.
Is that what it is?
I don't know if I should be offended that people don't believe that it's you or not, but
Yeah.
I think they're very fickle.
Lighter than tan.
Yeah. No. If only it was that easy, like a 3-week prep, something like that. But no, incredible. Obviously, like both of you. I mean, 3 world titles. Purely, it's absolutely huge now as well. I mean, I competed there. That was my second show after Miami Pro, and it was massive then, massive. And it's just gone on leaps and bounds. So fair play to Stuart and Janine, isn't it? Yeah. Fair play to him.
I'm just saying that I think I was saying to Rosy, the over 35s and the masters category now, they're just getting tougher and tougher.
Yeah.
They really are getting really good. There's some good athletes there, and even guys who want to stay in this for longer. And when get older, you don't think it gets any easier, because it doesn't.
No. That's. Do you find that now? Obviously, you are a bit older. In terms of responsiveness to certain variables, do you find that sets you back a little bit from when you first started competing in 212 or not?
I feel I think I've got better because of the knowledge I've picked up along the way. I had a coach for my natural bodybuilding show, but since then I've prepped myself. I've just taken bits from here and there.
Yeah.
Myself. So I think the only thing, as you get older, you have more aches and pains. The leg press is like, oh my God, I'm leg pressing a bus. Stuff like the knee pain, the back pain.
Yeah.
I don't squat no more because the back pain. It's just one of those things. And I think with more and more supplement companies, and you're finding out this and that with supplements for your joints and so forth, people are trying. It's a lot better now than it is back when it was back then. So so it's just when you start. I mean, I started when I was 35. Started very late, so I was already in the 35 category. So and it's just weird. It's just that it takes a toll on your joints now.
Yeah.
So when you're younger, you're lifting a lot. Maybe look after yourself now and be a bit more careful. So when you only end up like Ronnie Coleman at the end of the day.
I'm just as passionate now. I mean, I've had some quite nasty injuries over the years, and I am just as conscious of all right, I want to be the biggest and strongest guy on the planet. I'm just as conscious of I need to do 10-15 minute stretching a day, take all the right supplements, and it's great because now you're in a position where with social media platforms, there's just so much information, and potentially it can be like wood from the trees kind of scenario, but the information that you do land on that works for you, and it is a bit of trial and error as well, is golden. So no, it's good. You obviously enjoy it though. Do you think you'll miss it it won't be this year, will it? It'll be next year when everything picks up.
No, well, my last show was in November, and I'll be totally honest. I was honest with Rosy in our own interview that for the last 3-4 months after the show, I was like, what do I do? I have no goal. I have no focus. I was like, from being up here, I went plummeted right down. Then COVID happened. And it's like, what do I do now? It was I think mental state wise, when you come off a show and you decide not to do anything anymore, and you've been doing that for so many years, it's like, okay, what's the next step? For anybody out there that's thinking, okay, this is my last show, and have something in place, because I've been down with nothing in place for the future, and it's like, and you do come down and you're thinking, I don't know what to do. Yeah,
it's a bit more severe than holiday blues, isn't it? I imagine.
Yeah. And I've got a 4-year-old running around as well.
Well, I was gonna say.
I get blues like 2 days after a show, and then have to do it again.
Yeah.
Well, I bet he keeps you busy, but I think it's massively important, isn't it? Because this sport is a full-time job, regardless of whether you've got a career in the background or not. Do you know what I mean? Everything revolves around cardio timing, meal times,
Yeah.
weights. Do you know what I mean? Sleep. Like you're sleeping to train fundamentally. It's nothing to do with being tired. Like you need to sleep so you can wake up the next day and have your next meal. Do you know what I mean? It's not amazing.
Because what's your full-time job?
So I'm an operations manager for a security company.
Okay, and then you coach part-time.
Yes, yeah, at the moment for at this moment in time, moving forward, will not be. But to be fair, I mean it's quite good. I mean I've worked since I started my working career. I've always worked in a white-ish, white-collar industry. So I've had that separation from bodybuilding. Like I love PT and I love coaching and I love getting people results. But it has been nice to take that respite for 8 or 10 hours a day, to just to step away from it, because again, I'm so regimented. Like I still have alarms on my phone for my food. Do you know what I mean? But that time frame, not standing on a gym floor, which I have experienced, sitting at a laptop waiting for check-ins to come in. That time frame is full. So yeah, I manage. I think I almost manage 6,000 hours now, which is like 150 guards, from Peterborough down to Brighton. So I've got a lot of driving to do. So providing I've got good podcasts and things to listen to, or there's good songs on my playlist, I'm good to go. Spend most of my time on the M25 there. So.
Yeah. Nice. Eating, I imagine, as well.
Yeah. No, well, for any police officers watching, no.
Of course not.
And I drive at the speed limit.
Yeah, we all do that.
Yeah, 100%.
So, who or what inspired you in your early days, and has it changed from then to now?
Do you know what? It's not a question. That's not a question that I ever get asked, which is funny. And I actually thought about it the other day. So I used to play professionally, rugby professionally. I was almost there. I played academy rugby from the age of 11. And basically, when I was growing up, I've got like an asymmetric rib cage. It's going to be a long but short story. It all goes down to like your motivation to change and better yourself and things, which is nice. So I had an asymmetric rib cage. So one side of my rib cage sat out slightly further than the other. And when you're young, you think that you're the only person in the world that could potentially have that. Everyone has insecurities and things like that. But I was so broken with it that I actually almost went through an operation to completely break my rib cage apart, each and every single inch of it, and rebuild it. But because I was playing rugby at a high level at that age, I was coming up sort of 15, 16. Nobody knows about this, like not even my friends. But if you can put it out there, it might resonate with somebody. So we got to the final stage. I had x-rays, and that's what they basically said. They said, right, we can do it, but it's going to mean that we rebuild your rib cage pretty much, straighten things out. And the doctor that my mum and dad would pay for sat me down, and he said, right, you want to be a professional rugby player? I said, yeah, that's what I want to do. That's my life ambition. He said, if you have this surgery, you'll never play rugby again. He said, your rib cage will never be strong enough to take that impact at a professional level moving forward. He said, so you've got two choices. You can either have it done, or you cannot have it done. And what I would advise, have you ever heard of a bench press?
Yeah.
Those were literally his words.
Really?
He said, you're an athletic lad. He said, you're obviously very, very good at rugby. Like, congratulations, great. He said, but bar breaking the muscle, breaking the bone, the only other thing is you can do is build muscle.
Wow.
Around it.
That's cool.
And that for me was like it. I didn't need to hear anything else. And I fell in love with it after that, because that was like my turning point. I was so low, like devastated. I never wanted to take my clothes off, do it for a fucking living now. But then, like, being in a rugby environment, obviously get changing rooms, things like that, was just terrifying, mortifying. So went through all that, and then the answer was just get big pecs. So, yeah, could have told me that 6 months ago, mate.
Yeah, because I wouldn't notice. I haven't noticed anything when I saw you on stage or photos or anything. It's like, okay, wow.
Yeah, it does still bother me now. Like I said, everyone has their own insecurities. I think the only difference now is, as an adult, you know that everyone else has their own insecurities, and to be fair, everyone should be in that mindset. Although it's massively important to me and everyone else in their own situation, and you're the only person in the world that has that problem when you have got your own. But everyone's going through that. Do you know what I mean? In some way, shape, or form. And if somebody's nasty enough to put that negative energy towards you, then really don't need that person in your life and just move on.
Definitely.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's my drive. That's my driver, and it still is now, 100%.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Crazy.
But nobody else would have ever commented on that.
I've had back in the day, like friends of quite can be quite nasty, can't they? Without knowing, it's not on purpose or anything like that, but little comments, and especially when it's in your mind as well. Like I wouldn't wear certain t-shirts. Like it really drastic, and it bothered me so much, and it absolutely broke my mum's heart. I remember sitting in there after them telling me that I shouldn't have it done, and like just to basically go and pack some muscle on and get big. And she was devastated for me. She was so invested in it, like in and out of the hospitals every week, x-rays, conversations, consultations. It was madness.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's crazy. So that's my wife for me.
Wow. It's good that you didn't do the
Well, that's the thing. I'd be like, I'd have a scar from top to bottom, and it's just and again, it's just not worth that sort of. And again, for anybody watching, going through potential vulnerability and insecurities, don't worry about it. Just do you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you make that part of you. Like sometimes all these flaws in people, like, you know, I can't tell you the amount of people who will say, oh, I hate that gap in my teeth or something like that. And actually that's the really cute feature on them. So why, you know, yeah, exactly.
Be your own individuality, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, actually, that leads me on. As a coach and as a competitor, what do you think is the most important trait to do well in this sport? Do you think that it is something like genetics, or do you think it's more kind of work ethic, or maybe life experience, or anything like that?
I think there's so many words you could use.
Yeah.
I would like so many. Where to begin? I think adherence, consistency. I think there's an element of blind faith almost, because what you see today isn't what you're going to be seeing in 2 years' time, 3 years' time, and this is a long game. If you really want to push it, nobody's becoming the next Arnold in 6 months. You know what I mean? No matter who. No, straight up. It doesn't matter who your coach is. Doesn't matter what you know, doesn't matter what gear you take, doesn't matter what food you eat. Like, you are in this for the long haul, so settle in. And if you're not regimented and you're not, and I think to be fair, the best way to describe it is sacrifice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You've got to be willing to just say, and some people don't want to be Mr. Olympia, and that's fine. They just want to have a six-pack when they go to Ibiza. But to get in shape, you have to sacrifice something.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, I do a sacrifice.
Yeah, I don't think there is any balance in prep.
No.
I think if you have balance, then you can't win.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think there's an element of what would be the word? Perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
When you're sat there and you're thinking, oh, do you know what? I'm tired. I'm hungry. I don't want to do an hour of cardio on the Stairmaster. Well, Mr. Olympia does it. Mr. Olympia does it. Every single person that you look up to does it. So why on earth do you think that you shouldn't be hungry, shouldn't be tired, shouldn't be dragging ass, lead legs? Do you know what I mean? We've certainly been there.
Yeah.
And there isn't any balance. You've got to live to do it, if you really want to. at a high level or win.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't
Yeah,
want to, then don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair enough. Some people just want to get on stage for the experience, and there is nothing wrong with that either. But yeah, I mean, I think you can't kind of half give your all and then expect that you're still going to win, even if you have killer genetics and
Yeah, no chance. No chance. Jeff, I'm sure Jeff Bezos didn't sit there and be like, oh right, I'll do a couple of hours of work here, then I'll go down the pub, then I'll have a couple of drinks, maybe I'll do a bit of work later on. Like, it's all or nothing. Anything you want to do to be in the top 1% or to be the best, you have to be all in, no doubt.
So being a competitive bodybuilding coach and also having a full-time job, take us through a typical day of what you do.
You don't want to know. So at the moment, my typical day, I train. So I live in Brentwood, train in Leading Results Fitness Jungle Gym, or what they call it, Iron Jungle.
Oh yeah.
So it's an outdoor gym.
Yeah.
That opens at 5. For me to get there, I have to leave at 4. So I get up at 3:30 every day. I get back from the gym around half 7, 8 o'clock, and then I'm on the road for 9, and I'll do a whole working day. So from 9 till 6, I have to do 3 visits a day, and depending on where they're spread out, like I said, I could be up in Peterborough to Cambridge, then Cambridge to Luton, for example. My job's quite reactive, so once I'm on the road, I'm on the road. Like, obviously, I've got online clients. Anything major, I set out a time in the evening. I give myself an hour every evening to do admin work. So if there's any major changes, I need to sit down on a laptop, great. But if there's questions, I can message, not while I'm driving, message them back on WhatsApp or something like that. So yeah, 9 to 6, I'll be on the road. I've got 2 PT clients as well. One does 4 nights a week, and then one does every day of the week. So from 6 till 8, I PT my clients, and then sometimes it'll be 6 till 7 because they won't be training.
Yeah.
Sit in front of my laptop, and then bed. Long day, long ass day.
Yeah.
Long day.
Yeah.
Very, very impressive.
Hustle real hard.
Okay, so how do you stay consistent and driven though? Because you must be absolutely knackered pretty much every day.
All the time. I sleep with my eyes open.
Thinking of the games.
Yeah, straight, pretty much. Yeah. I think your main driver's got to be your why, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, why am I going through this every single day? My motivators aren't really my wins, they're my losses. So like, I had a really good competitive season last year as a junior bodybuilder. I was really, like, for me making that transition, I was very, very skeptical. You've always got to be realistic of, right, there are going to be some good boys out there, and I did really well domestically, like in my domestic shows, UK shows. Went out to Alicante for the Amateur Olympia. Wow, those athletes are just scary, and it was a very, very humbling experience. I mean, I came 3rd in the junior class. I personally thought I should have came 2nd. But no, I'm humble in defeat though. I definitely shouldn't have won. But those factors get me out of bed in the morning. Like, those factors get me down to Ashford for 5 o'clock in the morning to train. Yeah. Because if I'm not doing that, how could I ever expect to even touch the sides where it comes to that sort of level?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should stand on stage without the goal of being undeniable. If you can't walk out and somebody sit there and say, this is an easy decision, then see, that takes time. But in your own physique, you've got to be on point, and you're not going to do that without hard work. I also, as I said earlier, set myself alarms. Take the thinking out of it completely. I told one of my clients to do this the other day. Very little structure, and I had to sit down with him, had a bit of a wobble, and I said, right, tell me about your day. So what time do you get up? He said, oh, around 7 or 9 o'clock. 7 or 9 o'clock. I'm like, nah. I said, I'll tell you what, let's list all of your boxes, every single thing you need to do, and we're going to set an alarm on your phone for every day for the rest of your prep. Simple as that. That's what we're doing. Because that way it takes that element of, oh, right, well, yeah, I know I've got to do that, but I'll do that in a minute. And that in a minute never comes. And then all of a sudden you're 3 hours behind, you've got 2 meals to eat, you've still got to train. Doesn't work.
No.
So yeah, I like taking the thought process out of it, and just, it's robotic, but it's what it takes, I think, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we are running out of time, so I just want to ask you, what are your future goals?
IFBB Pro.
Yeah, I think you might say that.
best looking guy on the circuit. Not with these eyebrows, unfortunately.
Come with your pro card, a special rosette with your pro card.
I actually want to say a new IFBB Pro, the best looking guy on the circuit is. Yeah, no, I'm working towards that pro card 100%. Got a lot of work to do. So short term, I just need to absolutely mutilate my off season now. Just work on becoming the best version of myself, pushing the boundaries, and just keep ticking those boxes and get there eventually. 100%.
And when are you aiming to get back on stage again?
I will be doing the British finals next year. So I've got a best part of a year.
Yeah.
Until I want to grace the stage again.
I was going to say, for people who want to contact you for coaching and so how do they contact you?
Instagram handle is sleeraw. That's my personal Instagram handle. And my coaching page is raw.coaching. I've literally just set that up. I set that up yesterday. So within the next 24 hours, results will be on there. Contact information will be on there, and you can get at me through there.
Brilliant.
We'll do that. So our little quick fire questions. This is my favourite bit.
Go on.
First question. Guilty pleasure food.
Cheesecake.
Oh.
Favourite place you've been in the world?
Dubai.
Dubai.
Yeah.
And a few people say Dubai.
Yeah. Got to follow Jace out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jace, if you're watching, I'll get my own ticket. Definitely Dubai. Definitely.
Nice. Well, of course your coach is out there, isn't he, Jamie?
Yeah.
Okay, totally got you. What's your favourite stage pose?
My favourite stage pose is most muscular. But I'm turning over the past 10 or 11 weeks. I'm really enjoying my side shots, side chest and side tricep. Call it turn and burn. Boom. So, we'll see how this off season goes. I'll probably be doing like an abs and thighs if I ever have any.
That's what I'm going to think now when I do my side bikini.
Yeah, turn and burn. Love it.
Okay, last one. Do you have a greatest of all time bodybuilder?
I love Jay Cutler.
Very good, yeah. Jay.
He's just an absolute monster. He was a monster. I love that generation for me. Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, Dorian, just absolute mass monsters. And I think his physique. Here you go. I'm going to go proper wide on this one. His physique resonates with mine a little bit. Who said that? Nobody. No, I love his physique. I love his physique. Amazing.
Yeah, he's a great business guy as well, which I can really respect now. Very good. Okay. So you do the open class, don't you? The open bodybuilders.
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, I was going to say you couldn't be anything, but just checking you're not my competition for bikini.
No, well, to be fair, on a Saturday night, if you catch me at the right time with the right amount of drinks, I'll probably slip one off. No, I did actually pose the question to Jamie this year, with obviously 2 Bros finals coming up, to do the heavyweight class, because now I stand on stage about 103, 104,
Right.
but I think the weight maximum for that is about 98 kilos. It would be harsh on me, but imagine me 4 kilos lighter, condition wise, just absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
And he said no.
Yeah,
No, I was just like, Jamie, I've got an idea, and he was like, no. I was
like, I want to suffer, literally suffer.
Yeah, pretty much. Lockdown started, so I was the plan for this year, I was gonna do a warm-up show,
Right.
get myself peeled and as lean as possible, and then go straight into an off-season. So lockdown happened. I was gonna do PCA in Body Power, give me a nice amount of time to grow into it, whatever. And lockdown started, and I said, Jay, what do you reckon about it, just pushing the off-season now? He said, no. I was just like, okay then. I was just like, so you're basically just saying I'm still a fat fucker and I need to continue dieting. That's what he's saying. Yeah, pretty much.
Amazing.
Now, follow his lead though, 100%. I think it's massively important, certainly in this game, to have one, have a coach, have a mentor, have somebody to bounce off, stay accountable to. I mean, obviously, Matt, I know you prepped yourself, but I mean, there must be some elements of what you do that will make you so regimented that it doesn't matter what you're thinking, you'll just do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
know what you mean. Yeah, definitely.
It's very easy to like be like, oh well, do you know what? I'm hungry. I could probably do with a refeed. Yeah, good thinking, coach. Do you know what I mean? You got to be very, very strict to manage your own prep. So I take my hat off to you for that. Massively.
Well, we will send people to your sleeraw or raw coaching on Instagram.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I'll catch it. I'll be seeing you in 3 weeks anyway. But
of course. And I look forward to it. And lovely to meet you as well, Matt. Officially.
And you, mate. Yeah,
next time I see you, I'll give you a big kiss.
Yeah, look forward to that.
You, Matt.
You got yourself a deal. We'll see how you feel. I'll rugby tap you and I'll make you. I'll see you later. Lovely to see you both.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.